Welcome to And It's Live, the podcast which dives deep into football's most iconic seasons, stories, and what ifs. If you love football, history, tactics, and nostalgia, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and drop us a like on YouTube so you don't miss an episode.
To Pate there, and Barca pick up the ball once again. This is Bramble. Still, what's Bramble doing there? Kluivert picks it up. 1-0. He prepares to take it. Barca getting men into the box. Big Patrick Anderson coming up. De Boer's there too. Swings it into the box.
One club not falling short in the group stage were Barcelona at the very end, 18 points. Not the most difficult group. Lokomotiv Moscow, Club Brugge, Galatasaray. Galatasaray, I think that's gone past that little happy peak that they had. But Barca still looking very sexy. Mendieta's there. You get Saviola and Riquelme's there. Giovanni. What's going on? Because they're looking very nice.
In Europe, certainly. They are. They're not having the best of times domestically at all. Van Gaal gets sacked in January when I think they're just a few points off the relegation zone. So it's safe to say there's a lot going on. Rivaldo and Van Gaal didn't get on. I think Rivaldo was way too much of an individual for what Van Gaal's all about. So they weren't getting on there. And obviously, as we've said so many times over the past few years on this show, Rivaldo was pretty much the main man there at times, the only man. Riquelme, I think we touched on last week or the week before. Was the big signing. He comes in halfway through the group stages. But again, it's one of these things you look at and you think, why have you done that? Van Gaal is a systems guy, and you bring in someone who is very much not a systems player. He's a classic South American number 10 in a team that just wouldn't, or a manager that just wouldn't expect that. And he calls him a political signing and says that he's basically the management or the board's attempt to replace the kind of maverick of Rivaldo with someone else, rather than, as Van Gaal would prefer, the collective over the individual. So he did what you would expect, and he just didn't change anything and played him out of position. He had him out on the wing, basically to kind of almost break him and say, like, you've got great attributes, but you need to be this player. And that's probably a modern thing. There's plenty of players that'll work for now. We've spoken about, I guess, Thierry Henry a little bit before this and how that worked from the Juventus to Arsenal switch, but completely different circumstances, I guess, when you're coming from South America and you're that type of player. It's easier, I think, for Henry to adapt to playing out in the wing than it is for maybe a Riquelme. So he didn't take it very well. He's not that type of player. Not one of those guys.
He wasn't quick enough to play in the wing.
Yeah,
fabulous at everything, but just didn't have the pace for that role.
Yeah, also the attitude as well. I mean, for all we talk about these players, they know they're the man. They know where they want to play. They want to play as the number 10. It just didn't really work. And obviously it didn't help that, like I said, Barca were just terrible in the league at this point. But as you said, just that weird paradox, I guess, that they smashed through both group stages.
I always think that it becomes an escape. There's less pressure. Fans
midweek, just going.
Not unduly as bothered by it as they are, because when the league we saw it at Rangers the first couple of years of Gerrard, and I think Ryan Kent admitted it, did he not, at one point, that they found it easier to play. And it becomes a little bit. It's like, how often do you see a team who's on a relegation fight, but they do really well in a cup competition, and they get through to? Was it Middlesbrough reached the 2 cup finals the year they went down?
Yeah, 97.
Yeah, and it's because it's an escape. It's I really do think it's a psychological thing. It's an escape. It's something different. They were blessed in this, by the way, with an absolutely super good.
If you enjoyed the show and want to help us grow, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. On YouTube, search for And It's Live Podcast. We've got new deep dives, drafts and breakdowns dropping every other day.